Good evening and welcome to a special virtual meeting of the Lawrence Alliance for Education. The time is 5:05. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Maria, would you please take attendance?
Dr. Dolores Calaf. Edgar de Leon.
Present.
Arlene Garcia.
Present.
Juana Matias.
Present.
Maria Muller.
Present.
Mayor Brian de Peña. Chair Patricia Mariano.
Present. Thank you, Maria. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Superintendent Rodriguez to explain our role tonight.
Hey, everybody, thanks for logging on. First on the agenda is a vote to approve the CAF workers 23-24 MOU. Previously, we had voted for a blanket across the board 4% market rate increase for the CAF workers. The CAF workers had specifically asked for a 2.5% market rate adjustment retro to August 28th of 2023, as well as a $5,500 ServSafe stipend to CAF workers who are eligible for that, which would put them in line with the lunch aides who do currently receive a $5,500 ServSafe stipend. So those are the first two things on the agenda. So I'd be glad to take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent. Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, my question is, so this is retroactively, so we're going to be paying 2023 and 2024 at this rate, and I assume we have the funding for it?
Yes, absolutely. We ran a quick check with our financials today, and it seemed still have a buffer of about $4 million, which is comforting just in case there are any end of year costs that come up. So we still have a buffer of $4 million with all the things that we've done, including the things that we're asking for tonight.
And moving forward, the 2.5% increase will continue to carry it, correct, Superintendent?
I believe that they will be in negotiations moving forward. This will give them their market rate adjustment for this year, the 23-24 school year. They were the one remaining group who we still had not been able to give a rate increase to. So I think this will be terrific for them. A limited number of staff workers. I believe there's 68 folks who are CAF workers. So the 2.5% market rate adjustment based on their salaries, could be anywhere between $800 to $1,200 for the average worker, and then also the $5,500 ServSafe for those folks who have been working all year with that certification. If one of the CAF workers, for example, got their ServSafe certification in January, they would receive about half of the $5,500. So yes, we do. To answer your question, yes, we definitely have funding, and we still have a little bit extra in case there are any end of the year emergencies that we need to do.
And Superintendent, who has the ServSafe certification and who doesn't?
Yes, that's correct. So HR keeps a list. Carol Noonan works with the Director of Nutrition Services, works with the folks in the CAF Workers Union to make sure that if they have not received it yet and they do take the training and they do get it, that they submit it to her so we can have the exact date of when they got it. Of course, folks who have had it all year will get the full stipend, and anybody who got it during the year will get it prorated on when they got it.
They each would get $5,500?
That's correct.
Any further questions from the board?
Couldn't hear that.
Any further questions from the board?
I'm all set.
All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the cafeteria workers 2.5% market rate adjustment, as well as the ServSafe
Stipend.
stipend, thank you, stipend, of $5,500.
So
So
moved.
All right,
second,
second, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Maria, please call the roll.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Superintendent?
And then also, again, within the funding that we have left for the rest of the year, we are proposing a $2,500 one-time retention and end-of-year payout to all of our staff members, excluding emergency hires. This is non-pensionable, and this is a one-time payment to encourage retention over the summer for our folks who have worked for us all year, to hopefully increase the number of folks who stay with us and reduce the amount of hiring that the incoming superintendent and the building principals need to do.
Any
And I just want to reiterate again, this will not affect that $4 million buffer that we have. If this is approved, we will still have that $4 million.
And so regardless of title, superintendent, everyone's going to be receiving $2,500. What's the total on that and how many people?
It's about, 2378, I think, is 2,378. I can get the exact numbers for you. And it's anybody who's been a full-time employee who's not an emergency hire, very limited number of emergency hire folks across the district. And I believe, to check my email for the exact number on that, I believe it was somewhere in the range of $3.7 million, but I can check on.
Any further questions? All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve an all staff retention bonus of $2,500.
So moved.
Second,
Seconded.
thank you. Any further discussion?
I have a quick question. I said regardless of,
Title.
it is regardless of title, but how about employment status, probation, improvement performance plan?
Yeah, so this is going to be going out to everybody who was a full-time employee for us this year. Whether they got an exemplary rating or they got a needs to improve rating, or maybe somewhere in the middle. Again, this is going to go out to everybody, again, to encourage folks to stay with us, and also a thank you for their hard work this year as well.
Thank you.
But just a question on that. So if you're not performing well, why would we want to retain you and give you $2,500?
Yeah, I think, a needs to improve your rating doesn't mean you're not performing well, right? I've gotten a needs to improve a couple of times myself in different areas. Again, we try to say the evaluation tool, again, we want to give people authentic ratings, but a needs to improve might be someone who is a newer employee who maybe hasn't mastered classroom management yet. It doesn't mean they're not trying, doesn't mean that in 2 or 3 years they won't be, a proficient or an exemplary teacher. So, we do try to use the evaluation tool as a way for folks to see, yeah, I'm doing well in this, maybe I need to do better in this area. But, very rarely do we use the evaluation system as a way to say, we don't want you back. If, we do have ways to do that if we feel it's necessary through either improvement plans for folks who are professional status or non-renewal for folks who are non-professional status who are not being asked back. So, but again, we want folks to take a look at their evaluations and kind of look at where they do need to improve. If they're doing fine in some areas, we want them to try to do better. If they are below the standard right now, we want them to take that eval and find ways to either improve their classroom management, improve the way they're communicating with families, improve formative assessment so they can get a gauge on what their kids have mastered and what they still need to learn. So, so yes, there will be some folks who did not receive all proficients or all exemplaries who get this. And, again, we are doing this to try to make sure that we retain them so that they can improve if they have areas that they need to improve on, or so that they can excel if they're already proficient in their ratings.
I think, I mean, as long as it's clear that it's it's not linked to performance, I mean, it's a retention stipend, right? Which is
Not gratitude.
the purpose of that.
Yeah, I
Um,
would just say that, Superintendent, that I would really want to make sure that if we're giving people $2,500, it's on retention. Just as I think there's a concern for me as a board member, if it's performance-based and we're not dictating whether people are meeting performances. You know, someone who's going above and beyond is getting $2,500, and someone who's barely meeting requirements is getting $2,500. I don't think that's a good use of taxpayer dollars, and I don't think that really incentivizes, you know, good performance. Now, if it's based on retention, you have my support. So just want to make sure that I understand that there's a difference between those two, and that what we're giving the $2,500 is really based on retention.
Correct, correct, correct.
Superintendent, just a question. If there were staff members that are not performing well at all in many different areas, they would have been put on an improvement plan. And afterwards, after a certain amount of time, if they still haven't performed, they would have been dismissed, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's different in every situation, you know, like, you know, speaking personally, like my first year teaching was a struggle. My fifth year teaching, I was much better. So when we have folks in that kind of career range, we want to help them improve, and obviously we want to retain them. If someone is struggling or not performing, or not interacting with students or parents in the way that we want them to, and they're a 20-year veteran, there would definitely be someone that you know, we would look to put on a directed growth plan or an improvement plan. Absolutely, yeah.
But I'm specifically thinking about staff members that have 3 years before they reach their tenure.
Yeah, I think,
So
you know, for non-professional staff, you know, probably might not be an improvement plan for those staff. It would probably be a directed growth plan. And if they don't meet the areas that we need to see them meet, then their contract would probably not be renewed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we there's different ways we evaluate and decide on future career moves for folks at different career ranges.
All right. Any further discussion?
Yeah. How many employees are, the number of employees that are going to be receiving this?
I believe it's over 2,200, I believe, Member Garcia. So it's all of our folks who are full-time bargaining unit members, full-time exempt, excluding anybody who's an emergency hire. An emergency hire might be someone who is, we hire a paraprofessional mid-year for maternity leave or something like that. That would be an example of an emergency hire.
Right. So 2,300 minus 25, like 5 million.
It's you know, it's definitely a significant outlay. Definitely. But like I said, we do have the that, and it will help us spend down more of our money, and I think in a productive way, so that, you know, we can try to stay as competitive as possible with the salaries, which I think the board has done a lot this year to keep salaries competitive with folks in surrounding communities.
Are we ready to call the question? All right, Maria, please call the roll.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. With that, members of the board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
second,
Thank you. Maria, please call the roll.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Maria Muller.
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes, thank you, and we are adjourned.
Good night, everybody. Stay cool.
See you all.